Okay. Under this AICTE supported Prerana scheme, I like to thank AICTE and also Rajendra Naik sir for giving this opportunity to teach you electric circuits under this Prerana. I hope you will enjoy this particular electric circuits classes throughout. That is starting today. I hope it is completed for everyone. This course, network theory or electric circuits course, is completed in your daily curriculum. We'll revise each and every topic. Okay, from the start. What is R element, L, C, and from the starting of Ohm's law, we'll continue to discuss each and every part. Before going into that electric circuit subject, first let me share some insights about the GATE exam. Let me share my screen. Is it visible? This folder?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you. The basic syllabus for GATE for electrical engineering is having the numerous subjects, but the weightage, particularly if you see, it will differ from subject to subject. If you just want to qualify, then in that case, if you read 5 subjects accurately, then you will definitely qualify. Especially you must concentrate on engineering mathematics. Okay, that too you have learned in first year and second year all these mathematics regarding linear algebra, calculus, differential equations, complex variables, probability and statistics, numerical methods, transform theory. All these actually you need to go through again for this GATE exam. And whatever the weightage we are giving to engineering mathematics, the same weightage will be given in terms of marks, specifically in terms of number of questions they are asking in GATE and marks. The electric circuits is the highest. Again, after this engineering mathematics, these electric circuits will be having the payload of around 11 marks, 11.75 marks. You will get the questions and marks from this electric circuit specially. Okay, that means you need to concentrate these two specifically out of that 5 subject whatever we are talking. If you are reading only 5 subjects, then in that case, then if you want to score more, you have to thorough about all the subjects. Okay, especially if you are actually looking at the electric circuits syllabus, you will have all the whatever the network theory course is consisting same. That course is consisting of graphs, KCL, KVL, node analysis, mesh analysis, and also transient responses and sinusoidal steady state analysis, resonance, filters, everything from the initial point to all the theorem, Thevenin's theorem and Norton's theorem, superposition, maximum power, all these, and also you will have three-phase circuits including all these. You will get any question from any of these topics in case of electric circuits. And In addition to mathematics and electric circuits, you will have electromagnetic fields, that is EMF. Okay, maybe you're reading in this semester, you concentrate on these subjects specifically. Then signals and systems, you have signals and systems, and also electrical machines, power systems and control systems, electrical and electronic measurements, and analog and digital electronics and power electronics. Basically, these are the main sections. 10 sections will be covered under electrical engineering. Okay, you will be asked the numerous questions from these subjects. Specifically, if you look at the normal question types, how they'll give the questions based on these subjects, then these questions will be mainly of MCQs and also numerical answer questions also they may ask you. There are basically two types of questions, that is multiple choice questions and also numerical answer type questions. Okay, all the electrical engineering questions will be asked based on these two types. Okay, and especially you will have, we are talking about engineering mathematics, right? In addition to engineering mathematics, the compulsory questions you need to answer, those are general aptitude questions. These general aptitude questions, basically they may give you around 15 marks. That 15 marks you must answer, there is no choice. Okay, you have to answer these general aptitude questions. Okay, there are three sections. As I told, this selected subject is electrical for in our case. Then for suppose if you ask me how many questions we will get, sir, like that, then you will get total 65 questions. 1 mark questions will be there, 2 mark questions will be there. But the main thing, whenever you are writing GATE exam, there is a specific negative marking, like if you are answering correct, then you will get 1 mark. If you are answering the question, the answer is wrong one, then in that case you will be deducted 1/3 mark, whatever you are actually answering. If it is a 1 mark question, then if you are answering wrong, then you will get -1/3. If it is a 2 mark MCQ question, then in that case 2/3 of marks will go away for the MCQs. Okay, if you are not attempting, in that case the unattempted questions, they won't give any negative marks. For example, if you are not answering any question, then in that case they won't give any negative mark. Okay, and especially the numerical answer type questions, we don't have negative marking. These things you must keep in mind so that you can get more marks to qualify the GATE exam. Okay, the thing here, my advice or my suggestion from my point of view, this one, you can take any other suggestions from the following lectures also. But my suggestion is, if you are sure about your answer, then only answer the question in the GATE exam. If you have dilemma in between two options, then in that case it's better to not answer that question, that kind of questions. If that answer is wrong, then you will be penalized with the -1/3 or -2/3 marks. For that reason, here in case of GATE, you must be sure about the answer. You must calculate and you must sure about the answer. Then only you have to attempt, or then only you have to tick that kind of a question. Then only you will get good marks in the GATE examination. I hope it is clear from this. Then if you are coming to the weightage, this is last year paper weightage. Okay, that means weightage from each subject, how many marks you are getting from the each subject. Okay. If you're talking about engineering mathematics, as I told you, this is the bigger one, okay, which is the main. Actually, if you're practicing so much mathematics in first year, second year, this will help you to crack the gate very easily. Here you will get 11.75 marks. For suppose you don't know the questions of 1.75 marks, then also you will get at least 10 marks from this engineering mathematics. Then signals and systems will be of the weightage of 8.5, EMT 2.75, your electrical machines 8.25, power systems 9.75, control systems 9, and electrical and electronic measurements you will get around 4.5, analog and digital electronics you will get 11.25. Our electric circuits or network theory you will get again same like engineering mathematics around 11.75 marks. This 11.75 is the highest weightage marks which are equal in the case of engineering mathematics and also electric circuits, that is network theory. And also you will get the questions from the power electronics, that is around 7.5 marks. Okay. What I told you in the initial case is, if you prepare for 5 subjects, for suppose you prepared very well for the 5 subjects like engineering mathematics and signals and systems and also power systems, control systems, and if you have completed network theory, analog digital electronics, then these are actually the weightage is more. That means you can score more marks from the gate if you are thoroughly practiced all the questions from these subjects. I hope it is clear for everyone the main criteria. If you want to qualify, then this is the thing we need to follow. Okay. Give me a minute. Actually, my camera is lagging. Let me stop my sharing so that the signal will be good. Okay. In this electric circuit subject, the sessions will be very interactive. Try to ask, meanwhile you can stop anywhere and you can ask any kind of a question so that you have any doubts you can note down and you can ask later also. Okay, after completing the lecture, that is your wish. Okay, you try to communicate in between. If we solve more and more problems, then only you can grab around the marks of 11.75 from this electric circuits. You try to practice more questions, more MCQs, more numerical from this electric circuit so that you will get good marks in the gate. Okay. You have started the good initiative. For that, need to thank AICTE for starting this Prerana scheme. Then we'll straight away start with our syllabus for electric circuits. Before starting, if you have any kind of a doubt or anything regarding gate or electric circuits at this stage, you can ask. If you have any kind of a doubt, you can ask now. Unmute yourself and you can ask. How many of you really interested? Just raise your hand. Thank you for that. Okay, you'll definitely learn from this. Okay, it should be interactive one so that you learn more. If you're just learning, if only I am talking in one way, then it may not help you. For that reason, you have to solve at your end and you have to ask if you have any kind of a doubt while we are solving the numericals or problems at each and every time. Okay? Okay then. Then first of all, we'll get start with the electric circuits. For suppose if you are a electrical student, you can simply tell us the simple difference between network and circuit. Can you tell us what is the difference between network and circuit? Anyone? What is the difference between circuit and network? We'll start from A, B, C, D. We'll go up to Z. Okay. This kind of a start you will get, and so that you will understand from scratch this electric circuit subject. Then can anyone tell me what is the difference between circuit and network?
Sir, circuit means combination of resistors like that, sir. Whereas network means it is combination of circuits.
Exactly. Whenever you are having only elements, for suppose a loop you have, in that loop or mesh, whatever you call, in the loop or mesh, the elements are connected. That elements are called connected in a circuit. Okay, then when you are interconnecting the circuits, this network is actually the interconnection of circuits. Whenever you are connecting these circuits, then the network will be formed. Interconnection of circuits will lead to the network, as simple as that. Okay, if you have any kind of a doubt, then simply you can imagine the building. If you imagine building, in this building you can imagine like a network. That means this building is considered as a network, for suppose, for example. Then inside that building there are so many rooms, right? If you connect all these rooms, the doors and windows, if you connect, then that will become network. These rooms are actually same like circuits. If you connect all these rooms, the building is formed. Same like that, if you connect the electric circuits together, you can form the networks like our power system network, electrical network, whatever, the grid, any example. All the elements, if you are connecting, you will form the simple circuit. Then if you connect all the circuits, then you will have the network with you. Okay, then simply we are talking about the number of elements inside this circuit. First, to form this circuit we have so many elements we are talking. Then first, if you understand the elements, then you will understand clearly whatever we will discuss in the coming classes. First, we will have classification of elements. Okay, if you talk about the classification of elements, then all the elements will be classified into 4 types, mainly 4 types. We will discuss in detail what are the types and all in this particular class. First, these elements may be considered as linear and non-linear elements. Linear elements and non-linear elements. Whenever you call from this classification, if the element is, why we are calling that element as a linear element, a non-linear element, we have to look at the VI characteristics of any element. If you have the VI characteristics curve, then in that VI characteristics curve you can observe and you can tell whether it is a linear or non-linear one. You know already the difference between this linear and non-linear. Let me remind you, if an element is, for suppose you are calling as a linear, then this VI characteristics line, whatever the straight line you are forming, for suppose you are drawing the VI characteristics, this is I and this is V, then in this case of linear elements there will be only one equation. That equation will be like a straight line that will always pass through the origin. Whenever your element characteristics is following like a straight line through origin, that is called linear element. This may not be the type, the linear may be this type also. These are same VI characteristics. This is I and this one is V. The line, whatever the straight line, if you are drawing for this VI characteristics, that VI characteristics, if it is following a straight line, that must be passing through the origin all the time. Whenever you write the equation of this straight line, that is equal to y is equal to mx form, that kind of equation always passes through the origin, and in that case that kind of elements are called linear elements. Whenever you are talking about non-linear ones, the non-linear ones are quite opposite to the linear. Then in this case of non-linear, the VI characteristics may be different. How? We'll see. In case of the non-linear, the straight line, it may be a straight line, but you will have the straight line equation like this. Okay, it is not always linear. Then in this case, for suppose V is equal to, for suppose this is V and this one is I. In this case what happens is V value is equal to 0, for suppose, then I value is also equal to 0. But whenever the V value is less than 0, then this I value, don't know, this is undefined in this case. This kind of if V value is greater than 0, you will have some value, whatever the, if the V value is this one, then you will find some I value. Okay, but whenever the V less than 0, there is no value for the actual element characteristics. This kind of a network element is called non-linear element. This kind of curves are non-linear curves. Not only this one, There are so many non-linear characteristic curves are there. If you draw VI characteristics, that VI characteristics, if you're drawing, for suppose sometimes it is going through the origin, but after some time it is actually flat. This kind of a structure, this kind of a VI characteristics curve, this is also non-linear. Okay, whenever all the time if you are drawing the characteristic curve, if it must be a straight line and passes through the origin, and then in that case only it is called linear. In all other cases it is called non-linear. Okay, not only the straight lines, if you are having the exponential curves, if you are drawing VI characteristics, then if you are getting a curve like this, then this is also, it is starting from the origin. As current is increasing, V is also increasing, then this kind of curve is also non-linear in nature. Okay, other different curves, maybe the value of VI characteristics, the value of VI characteristics may not following through the origin. If the VI characteristics are other than this origin, it is not following through the origin, then in that case it is called non-linear. All these kind of curves or VI characteristics lines all are called as non-linear element curves. Okay, I hope you understand how the characteristics of linear characteristics and non-linear characteristics are different from each other. Okay, and then there are the certain things first we need to understand about the elements. Here we are talking about classification, linear element we are talking and non-linear element. Then the other type of elements, if you are talking in the general electrical engineering, we are having active and passive elements. Can anyone tell us what is the difference between active and passive elements, if you know? First is linear and non-linear. If the VI characteristics you are drawing, and if it is a straight line strictly passing through the origin, it is linear. Then in all non-linear cases it is different. Then if you are talking about active and passive elements, can anyone give us the example or property of active element?
Active is that
Current
which delivers energy, right?
voltage.
Passive is absorbed.
Active? Can you
Is
repeat?
that which delivers energy. Delivers energy.
Okay, exactly. Whenever you are talking about the active elements will deliver some power to the circuit, energy or power which will be given to circuit. That kind of elements are called active elements. In this case, active case, there will be some power will be given to circuit, whatever you are connecting this active element inside the circuit. For that circuit, this active element will give the some power. Okay, some power will be delivered to this circuit is combination of elements we are talking. That kind of elements are called active elements. Then the simple example you know already, active elements are of, you can call voltage source. Voltage source, if you connect in a circuit, it will give some power to the circuit, whether it may be voltage source or current source, it may be battery, whatever you call. Okay, these kind of elements are basically called as active elements. Okay, then if you are talking about passive elements other than these active elements, those are all called passive elements. But whenever you are talking about in any circuit, we will connect simply a battery with RLC. All those elements are actually connected inside the circuit. The battery or sources we are calling active elements. The remaining elements like RLC will come under these passive elements. Other than these active elements, they may not deliver the power to the circuit. Those kind of elements are called the passive elements. The main passive elements in any network, if you look at, those are RLC. Okay, and the condition here must be the R value is always greater than or equal to 0. The L value must be greater than or equal to 0, and C value must be greater than or equal to 0. Then only these elements are called passive elements. Okay, whenever you are calling about the passive elements, then the passive elements will be the having positive value greater than or equal to 0, not less than. Then if you are talking about the characteristics, VI characteristics of this active and passive elements, if you look at the VI curves of these active and passive elements, if you have VI for the passive elements, for suppose this is V and this is I, then if you are looking at R, then what is the R value? V by I. That means V is equal to I into R. Usually you write, right? From that only I am drawing this one. You know this one, for that reason I have taken directly. Then whenever this is taking like a y is equal to mx form, it is same like the line, that is straight line passing through the origin. Then whenever you are talking about the passive element, the positive element is always have the positive slope. That means this is actually the passive element R characteristics. The passive element R characteristics, if you draw on VI space, then you will definitely have positive slope. Okay, whenever you are having, this is the important thing you have to remember from the exam point of view. If you are getting the positive slope for any straight line between the VI characteristics, then the positive slope means this is kind of a passive element. Okay, I hope you understood. Then if you are looking at negative slope, then in that case how the curve will be, we'll see. If the slope is negative, that is other case we are talking, that means it is passing through the origin, sorry, it is passing through the origin, then this slope, if we count, this is actually the negative one. Okay, when compared to that positive slope, this is actually the negative slope. If you draw the VI characteristics of any element, if you get this negative slope kind of a thing, then those elements are actually active elements. You have to remember this simple point. Okay, that means these active elements always have negative slope. The passive elements will have always positive slope, basically. Okay, sometimes these curves may be active you are having and positive you are having. Let me give you a curve to tell us whether it is a positive slope or negative slope. If this is the curve, okay, VI characteristics curve is this one. There is a straight line for suppose, then whether it is an active element or positive element, can you tell us? If this is the straight line, can you tell us this element is active element or passive element? They'll ask you, simply they'll give you the curve, then they'll ask you whether this element is active element or passive element. You have to recognize from this way characteristics curve. Can anyone tell me?
Active.
You have only two options, active or passive.
Active.
This is active. Anyone else? Someone is telling this is active element. Okay, let me tell you. First we need to find the slope. That is the main thing, right? Okay, whether it is positive or active, we are deciding based on the slope only, we are telling. For that reason, simply at any point on this line, on this straight line, you take one point, okay, then simply you project that one onto this x-axis and also y-axis. Y-axis we have v and x-axis we have I, right? Then here the value of v must be negative, right? Here the value of I must be negative, as you know. Why? Because this is origin. At this point it is 0. If you go this side it is positive and this side is negative. Then for that reason you can simply tell, if you are having this kind of a line, then you can calculate slope. How will calculate? You know, this is a simple thing, right? This y is equal to mx. If it is there, what we will do to calculate the slope? M must be y by x. That will give you slope, right? That is a simple thing. Then here you can see y-axis by x-axis coordinate. Y-axis is minus v, right? Here at this point I am calculating the slope. That m value we are calculating. The slope, how you will calculate m value? Simply minus v by minus I. Minus v by minus I. Whether it is positive or negative. Minus minus cancel. Directly it will give you positive slope. If it is a positive slope, this element is active or passive?
Passive.
Obviously, if it is a positive element, then only your slope will be positive. For that reason, you can call this line. If they are giving this one, they may give you, this is the characteristics of current source, voltage source, resistance and battery. What you will actually choose? Only the resistance. That resistance is passive element. For that reason we can directly choose this positive slope is always indicates the passive element characteristics. For that reason directly you can calculate. Okay, then how everyone calculate this one? If it is the curve is like this is V and this one is I and your line is somewhere here. This is a straight line, sorry for that. Now tell me.
Active, sir.
Obviously, simply you can tell this is V positive, I is negative. Okay, V positive, I is negative. Directly you can tell plus V by minus I, it is giving negative slope. Simply negative slope is, okay, I will calculate here. The value if you project here, V is positive, this value is positive, and this value is negative, I value is negative I, and this one is positive V. That means positive V is y-axis, then minus I, it is giving negative slope. As simple as that. If it is giving the negative slope, in that case directly you can tell that as an active element. Okay, then why after seeing without any calculation in gate, what is the beauty is you need to tell just by seeing also. Simply, okay, no need to take this much time. If you are calculating this kind of a question, your counterpart may be calculated within a second, but you're struggling here, then in that case it will be difficult for you also. For that reason, simply if you observe this kind of a question, this is very simple one, but for your understanding I am just telling you. Then, and also for easy remembering, just I'll remind you this part only, active and passive thing in the different genre. You see here, you can see this is actually we are telling passive, and it is actually the positive slope we are telling, right? Positive slope we are telling, and it is passive we are telling. That means whenever the curve, whenever the straight line is existing in the first quadrant and also third quadrant, this is actually third quadrant, first quadrant and third quadrant, then directly you can tell element is with positive nature and which is having positive slope, right? Positive
Passive.
slope will be there in the first quadrant and third quadrant. As you can see, if you have the normal active element which is having negative slope, you can see this is second quadrant and fourth quadrant. Okay, if it is lying, the straight line is lying in the second quadrant and fourth quadrant, then you can simply tell that kind of element is active element with the negative slope. Okay, this thing you need to remember, simple thing. Okay, 2 4, 2 4 is even number in quadrants. Even numbers meant for here VI characteristic line will be active element line. Okay, if the line or VI characteristics are lying in case of second quadrant and fourth quadrant, directly you can tell the element is active element. Whenever you are calling first and third quadrants, then you can directly tell this kind of element is passive element. Okay, at this point if you have any doubt, you can ask anyone. You have any doubt? We'll continue. Okay. Is it boring? Let me take feedback in the first class only so that we can improve your learning also. Can you tell? Is it okay? With this pace we can go or we can improvise?
Sir, okay, sir.
Okay.
It is okay, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. If it is okay, we'll continue then. No problem. If you feel anything boring, like if it is a one-way kind of a thing, if you feel, you immediately stop me or immediately unmute yourself. You can tell us. Okay. Okay then. Then there are other two types. Those are very important. The other two types are, first I am discussing about unilateral and bilateral elements. What is the meaning? What do you understand? From your understanding, can anyone tell us what is the difference between unilateral and bilateral? If the element
Unilateral means
is,
one
tell me.
unilateral means one direction, whereas bilateral directions.
Can you repeat? Only one direction means unilateral. That's what you are telling, right?
Yes, sir. Bilateral means
Okay.
in two directions.
What? Which direction? Okay, you are telling correct only, but I need some clarity on this one. Which direction you're talking about?
V and I, sir. Voltage and current.
Okay, for suppose I'll give, there is a element, this one. What is this? Can anyone tell us?
Diode.
Diode, we know, right? Diode.
Right.
Okay. Whether this diode, if you consider, for suppose if you consider this diode, whether it is unilateral or bilateral.
Unilateral.
Obviously it is unilateral. That's what the direction, whatever you are talking about, the direction or polarity, if you are talking. Okay, for suppose if you offer this kind of element to any circuit, or suppose you are connecting in a circuit this kind of diode, then what happens with that diode? And if you are connecting a simple resistor, or if a simple inductor, and if a simple capacitor, what happens? We will discuss. Based on these, we will define this unilateral and bilateral elements. Okay. Simply, what happens here? I'll give you the brief. You know already, I think so. This unilateral, bilateral. Just I'm actually elaborating here. I'm going a bit inside. You know, one side, if you are telling, if it is one direction, then in that case, you are telling it is unilateral. Okay, the perfect example diode. Your understanding is correct, but we'll elaborate that one, that understanding. How, we'll see. For suppose if you are considering the impedance, I am considering the value of resistance or impedance case for the elements like this, whether it is a resistor or inductor or capacitor or diode, you consider the impedance value. Okay, for suppose if you connect this diode to a voltage source, for example, you are connecting inside the circuit this kind of a diode, and also you are connecting simple with resistor, we'll understand. You have a resistor connected inside the circuit. There are two elements. Okay, then this is your resistance and this one is the diode. Then you are telling directly This diode is unilateral. This resistance is bilateral. You are telling. We'll understand that how we can call this one. Okay, your understanding is correct. Whenever you are supplying the voltage in this way, this is positive side and this one is negative side, then the polarity here, it will generate the circuit. The current is this way. Okay, the current is this way. Then the impedance or resistance offered is which is equal to R. In this case it is R only. For suppose you are reversing the direction of voltage, the polarity if you are reverse, that means you are connecting the circuit with the resistor, but the polarity, this side is negative and this side is positive. Again you are connecting to the same resistor. That means you remove this connection. For suppose you understand, without this one only you have connected this resistor. Let me redraw that one. You clearly understand. Initially the voltage polarity, this side positive, this side negative. Now it is this side negative and this side is positive. Okay, it's simply connecting to a resistor. That resistor, the value is R. Then in this case, with the current flow or whatever you are talking, the impedance value, the resistance value, if you calculate, what is that resistance value? Whether it is equal to R or it is a different value. Whether it is equal or different.
Equal.
It is equal. Whenever you are having this kind of current direction or this kind of current direction, but the resistance value is equal in this case. If you connect the inductance at this place, if you connect the capacitor also, the value of impedance, whatever we are calling in terms of XL and XC, this impedance value won't change if you reverse the polarity. It will give same impedance if you reverse the direction of voltage source. Okay, whether it is a voltage source, if you are connecting a current source also, if current source is giving power to the circuit, in that case, if you are connecting the circuit in the reverse polarity, in that case also it will give same impedance value. That means in the this kind of a circuit, if you consider the different case, this kind of a circuit, if you consider, if the polarity first case it is like this, for suppose, then the current flow is this, what happens to the impedance here? They will connect or disconnect.
Forward bias.
Forward bias means it is conducting, it will be like a short circuit, right? It is acting like a short circuit. Thank you for that answer. That means in this direction, if we connect the voltage, that is voltage source, battery, if you are connecting, then diode will act like this similar kind of a circuit. Okay, but if you reverse the polarity, I am reversing the polarity here in this case, this side negative, this side positive. Whether this, like this we will get, this diode will be acting like reverse bias. For that reason it is kind of a open circuit. That means in this case impedance is 0, in this case impedance is infinity. That means the simple understanding here from this unilateral bilateral elements is, if you are reversing the polarity of current source or voltage source, whatever the polarity or direction, if you are giving that direction, if you are reversing, in that case if you are getting the same impedance, then that kind of element is always called as unilateral element. When you are actually reversing, then in that case you are getting different impedances, then that kind of element is called bilateral elements. Then if you draw the VI characteristics for this kind of a unilateral bilateral curves, for suppose unilateral means, as we have seen already, VI characteristics for the resistor, if you have a VI curve, then VI curve will be simply like this. That means you can calculate the value of impedance, that resistance value, simply by V1 by I1. Directly you will get the impedance value in case of unilateral element. This is same like your resistor. Okay, simple example we have considered resistor. Then if you are considering the bilateral element characteristics, that bilateral element characteristics are same like your diode characteristics. Then here this may be, like this. This is why we are calling the bilateral is, at some point the impedance is different, at other points impedance is different. This is VI characteristics for suppose. Then in case of this VI characteristics, if you calculate the Z here at this place, Z1 if you are calculating, okay, then there is some value. Let us suppose this value is equal to 4 volts and this one has minus 4 volts. Okay, then if you get this current, for suppose this current value is 4 amperes, this is positive, for that reason 4 amperes, then this current you can call it as a negative value, that is 4 ampere. Let us suppose, as I told you, the bilateral diode characteristics are similar to this one. Then in that case, if you calculate the Z value in this case at this point of the curve, then you will get both the positive 4 by 4 you will get directly, which is equal to 1, but V by I you are calculating, that is equal to V1 by Z1. In this case 4 by 4, this value is 4 and this value is 4, you are getting 1. Okay, then if we are calculating the value at other values at other points, then in that case at other values, if you calculate this value Z2, or suppose this is minus 4 by minus 4, this is kind of equal to plus 1, then this is at this point Z2 value is having the same kind of same impedance, and in this case the impedance is positive, and here also positive, here also positive, always the same value you are getting. If the impedance is same, this kind of element is bilateral. Impedance is always same, then this kind of circuit, this kind of characteristics are bilateral circuit characteristics. Okay, but if these values are changed, for suppose the characteristics with the different values, for suppose here same curve you are getting, this value is for suppose 8 volts, this value, then this current value, corresponding current value is actually 4 amperes. Okay, 4 amperes. Then here this current is equal to minus 4 amperes, for suppose, but I am taking the different value here, it is equal to 6 volts. Then if you calculate here in this case, here the Z is equal to 8 by 4. That 8 by 4 is equal to 2 ohm. Here the impedance is different. Z1 value is 2 ohm. If you calculate here, that Z2 value, Z2 is actually, this is minus 6 by minus 4, which will give you 3 by 2 ohm. This impedance is different. This kind of characteristics we will get in case of diode. Then this kind of characteristics, if the impedance is different, then this kind of graph, this kind of characteristics is for unilateral element characteristics. Simply, I wish to conclude here, if you are getting the same impedance, if you are reversing the direction or the polarity, then if the element is offering same impedance, here same impedance, here same impedance, then that kind of element is called bilateral element. Bilateral elements are R, L, C, whatever you call these kind of elements. If you reverse the polarity also, you will get the same impedance value. But in case of the diode, if you are talking, the value may be different, impedance value may be different if you reverse the polarity, same line. That means if you are operating in the forward bias, you will get like a short circuit. That means resistance value, impedance value is equal to 0. Whenever you are operating in the reverse bias, you will get the infinity as a impedance value. Both the impedances, the impedance value will differs for the case of diode, forward bias to reverse bias. That means polarity direction of voltage or current, it is changing, means this will give different impedance values. Those kind of elements are called unilateral element. Okay, I hope it is clear. Okay, and the important one here I want to mention, we have discussed about the linear element, right? Here every linear element, this line is actually the linear one, right? This is part, some part only, up to this part only. You can call every linear element is bilateral. Every linear element can be bilateral element. Okay, this statement is very important. These linear elements can be bilateral, but every bilateral not a linear element. Okay, you keep that in mind. The converse is not possible. Okay, only this way it is possible. Every linear element is bilateral, but every bilateral element may not be linear element. Okay, I hope this point will reach your mind at this stage. Okay, every linear element is bilateral only, but every bilateral element may not be the linear element. Okay, the next and the last one for today, I don't want to extend more. With this we will stop. The last classification of element is the time variant, element, time invariant. What do you understand from this? Can anyone? What is the meaning of variant and invariant in this case?
Does not change with parameters with respective time.
Very good. Any element, if you call it is a time variant, it will vary. Wave characteristics always changes with time, as simple as that. If time invariant means it won't vary with the time. Okay, as simple as that. Okay, or suppose time variant is, if we are calling this one, this is the characteristics curve, then it, if you look at each and every point of time, this is V and this one is I, and each and every point of time the value is varying. Okay, right? The value of this voltage and current, this is varying. In other way you can tell, for suppose you can compare also at time t1, this is actually passing through the origin, the straight line. This is for suppose at time t is equal to t1. If you vary after some time, this characteristics, same line that is passing through the origin, but it may be somewhere here, that is t is equal to at t2 time. Then that means characteristics are varying. At one point the value is this, at other time the value is different. Okay, that is this value. Okay, this much variation is there with the time. Okay, like that also we can compare. This is same element characteristics, same element at t1 and at t2 we are comparing. That means at t1, at time t1 it is behaving like this, with this straight line we can representing. At t2 it is behaving like this. That means it is varying according to this straight line. At time t1 it is varying according to this one. For that reason, if it is varying with time, then this is called time variant signal. If it is time invariant, it won't vary basically. Okay. Okay. I'll give you a simple question to conclude this. I'll ask you. We have discussed about the bottom line is, you have to tell the characteristics. I will give you VI characteristics. You have to identify whether it is linear, non-linear, and active, passive, and also unilateral, bilateral, and also time variant, time invariant. Out of this, which one is representing the curve, you have to tell. Okay. For suppose there is a circuit. With this circuit, some impedance is connected. Okay. Okay. Some impedance is connected. For suppose that is Z. That is passive in nature. We discussed this one, right? Then if you are applying the voltage V, because of this voltage some current is flowing in this circuit, let us suppose in this direction, then this is passive in nature, for suppose. Then if you draw the characteristics, the characteristics are actually showing this way. Can anyone tell me the nature of that element? This is V and this one is I. The characteristics is this. Can anyone tell me? This is passive. We are telling one answer is over. In addition to passive, how many rules it is actually accepting? Why we are telling it is passive? Simply it is in the first quadrant. That is first quadrant exactly. For that reason we are telling first quadrant, third quadrant we told already passive. Second quadrant, fourth quadrant, those are actually even numbers. 2, 4, that is active elements. Those are dedicated for active elements. This one over. Okay. Any other rule it is following? Unilateral. How you
Unilateral.
can tell unilateral this one? What is the condition for unilateral?
And if you reverse, impedance should be same.
Very good. That means unilateral means the impedance value is different, right? In your view? Very good. Simply impedance value, if you calculate in this first quadrant, it is there some value, but if it is going for the other quadrants, if you are going for the this quadrant, there is no impedance is equal to 0. Okay, how will calculate? Simply in this case, v1 by i1 you will calculate. Okay, some definite value you will get. But what about here, the impedance value? v1 you will get, for suppose in this case, v1 value minus v1, let us suppose. Then some finite value is there, v1, let us suppose. Then for calculating the impedance, we need to do minus v1 by i1. There is no i1 value, right? This i1 value is 0, that means it is infinity. Okay, here the finite value, here the infinity. Both the impedances are different. If the same impedance is there, we are calling bilateral element. All other elements are unilateral. Then this kind of a line can be represented as unilateral. Any other? Unilateral, okay, it is correct. And passive, okay. Very good. This one is non-linear. How we can call linear non-linear, we have seen already. How you will tell linear non-linear?
But only one equation.
It must be passing through the origin all the time, but this is not all the time. Up to this first extent, it is going in the value of v greater than 0, v is equal to 0. Actually, you are getting the finite value. It is passing through the origin, it's okay. But whenever v less than 0, it is not following that. It is not following that. Whenever v less than 0, the I value is indefinite. You don't know the value. That is not defined. For that reason, this is also representing non-linear. Okay, as simple as that. Okay, no need to confuse here. Whenever the element is there in the first quadrant or third quadrant, directly you will recognize it as a passive element. Okay, if it is there in the second quadrant, fourth quadrant, directly you can recognize as an active element. That thing. The other thing, if it is a unilateral, then you have to find the impedance value. Here you will get the impedance some definite value, but here we are not getting the impedance. Every time the impedance value is different. If it is giving the same impedance, we are talking about bilateral. It is not giving the same impedance, for that reason it is unilateral element. And it is passing through the origin, but not all the time. Okay, it is not following here. Whenever v less than or equal to, sorry, less than 0, whenever v less than 0, it is not passing through the origin. There is no value for that. For that reason, this element is non-linear. Okay, I hope it is clear. Then I am giving you simple homework kind of thing. Tomorrow I'll ask you this question when we start. At the start of our class, you find this kind of a VI characteristics. For suppose VI characteristics are represented like this, then you tell me the element nature, the classification you do. Draw this one, you tell me in tomorrow class. Okay, We'll solve interesting problems as we go into the electric circuits. Okay, if you want to flip the classroom also, I can flip. Okay, that is your interest. Okay, if you don't have the time, we'll discuss here only. Flip classroom is a kind of a thing. I'll provide you the material first. I'll give you the material. You have to read the topic for that day. We'll directly come here and we'll solve the problems based on that. If you are interested that way. Okay, we can do that. Okay, that is based on your interest. Okay, tomorrow we'll meet again. When we meet, I'll ask you what are the characteristics line showing of this similar kind. What is this curve representing element type? Okay, what are the element type you have to tell us? Okay, you have any kind of a doubt at this stage, you can ask. You can unmute yourself, you can ask. Okay, I'm stopping the recording.